So hello everyone, here again, and this is my second video on my course trainings. My name is Sola Abulu. I'm the principal consultant of Sola Abulu and Associates. We're a strategy and communications training and consulting firm that supports businesses and organizations to achieve their desired outcomes through the use of strategic communication, organizational effectiveness management. So we have a number of courses that we're running, 5 actually, that we're seeking to launch this in 2023 onwards to 2024. The second one, I've talked about the strategic communication course. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it. We're running a session, our first session on the 30th of November, depending on when you're watching this. You may or may not be able to join, but please check out that video on whichever platform you're watching this. So the second course that we have is the Public Relations, Media and Stakeholder Management course. And the reason why this is one of the courses that we chose to do is because public relations is that, how would I say, it's the traditional form of it's the traditional form of the practice before social media. It's very relational. It's very much based on engaging people, publicity, advertising, that kind of thing. It's more about relationships, unlike communications that is very much about influencing, insights, understanding. PR also uses data, research, and insights and measurements, but it's a different kind of focus. With communication, you're very much concerned about understanding how the stakeholder thinks with the intention to influence the way the stakeholder thinks. I think PR is very focused on how the stakeholder behaves. They're not necessarily worried about how they think, which is, it's almost like splitting hairs at this point. But with comms, it's very much going behind the veil and not just being concerned about what you're doing, but what makes you do the things that you do and how we can make you, how we can contribute to your thinking process, your thought processes, and get you to a place where you intuitively begin to see our perspectives on the way the world works. You know what I mean? So it's that sort of thing. So, but they each have their roles and their spaces. And when anyone who attends these courses, I will do my best, because I'll be facilitating all the courses, whether they're done virtually or live. It will be for us to get a sense of the differences that I see in practice. I worked. I had about 30 years experience in public relations and comms. I entered the profession at the point when it was only public relations. And then, eventually with the advent of social media, the internet and the smartphone age, communications and messaging became a big thing, because people then had access to information at their fingertips, and people were listening to thousands of sources at the same time. And it became more needful for us to be able to find a way to get into that. In the days when public relations was a thing, there were just a few sources of information, and those sources were aggregated. So it was TV, it was radio. In fact, in most countries, national radio, local radio, finished. Maybe 6. You could count the sources of information on the fingers of one hand. But now you have uncountable sources of information. And in the midst of that, everybody's fighting for everyone's airtime. You know what I mean? So communications really deals with how to bring that to space. So the corporate communications practice is actually a product of social media. So PR is very much in the traditional space. It still has space in our world of today, but it's a different kind of space. So on this course, we're going to be really talking to people who are practitioners who are either supporting a public-facing role in business, in politics, or society, with the need to proactively engage or influence identified segments of a community or a population. Most of the time, these populations that you need to influence may not necessarily be online. In fact, if you're talking traditional PR, most of the time they're not online communities. If you want to engage online communities, then it's corporate communications that really is your place. But if you're engaging physical communities, you know what I mean? So people in government that you need to see, or people in public, because in your citizen population, not everybody is on social media. So if you are supporting a public office holder, you really need to know a lot about PR, because a lot of your population may not be on social media, and this applies to every country in the world. But then you shouldn't also ignore social media, which is why people supporting government, politics, institutions need to understand both. You need to have PR and comms people. I see people trying to merge the two. No, the skill sets are not the same. And it's very difficult to find someone who is very strong in PR and also very strong in comms. Most of us tend to lean either way because the skills are somehow different. And I don't want to go into how different they are. Maybe when you come to my course, I can talk about that. I have the PR thing, but I'm deeper in the comms, in the corporate comms thing. But I started off in PR anyways. So what do you expect? Practical frameworks will give you the principles of public relations, media relations, how to understand your media landscape, how to play in it, how to leverage on it in your company or your business, the role that social media plays and how you can leverage between traditional and new media channels, how you can have a media strategy that leverages not just on the traditional channel, but also the online aspects of those traditional channels. And we introduce you to stakeholder management theory and practice and bring it to bear. So this will be very useful for anyone that is working in a role that involves managing relationships with stakeholders and the public in pursuit of business or institutional objectives. If it's relationship based, it's something that you need to, there's a relationship around it, then we're going to handle it because we're going to have the PR side of it and the stakeholder management. The PR side is very relational. In fact, most of the time you need to do some PR, which is engagement and that kind of thing, light touch relationships. You may even have to have roundtables. Sometimes you then need to have the media strategy around that, where the things that you can release to the public, you release to the public. The things that are closed door engagements you do in the public relations space, and then you manage the stakeholders around that. You make sure that the people that need to be in the room are in the room. Those that cannot be in the room, you engage them separately. So that whole process, what you need to know before you can do that effectively in support of your organization or your business or your institution, that's all we're going to be dealing with. So if you those who attend this course, you will understand the principles of PR, how to manage in a business or organizational context. You will know how to use media and public relations to advance your objectives. You will understand how to set business relevant targets and achieve them, and how to ethically persuade and influence the audience and stakeholder perceptions and actions through strategic public relations and stakeholder management. So yes, in the caption of wherever it is you're working, whatever platform it is you're watching this, you will see some details as to how you can register interest in this course. We are going to be releasing our 2024 calendar next year, very soon. Our preference is to have group booking. So if you have a team that you want us to do this course for, we will be very glad to do so. But if not, we will still have some cohorts that will run, but our cohorts will be run as live sessions. We would only do face-to-face sessions as group bookings at the request of our customers or clients or participants or corporate clients, or business or organizational clients. Also, for our cohorts that will take place next year, please watch this space for the schedule of when this course will come up. We look forward to being with you, and see you at our next course, and watch out for our schedule. Thank you.